Hello everyone, we're back at it again with Inscryption Kaycee's mod. I honestly didn't think I would be so excited to keep coming back to this mod. They just keep adding more and more content, and boy, it is just so satisfying. So we didn't unlock a new deck last time. We still just have our three possibilities here. We got ants, bones, and ice cream. You know, the three classic flavors. But we did get a new totem. No boss rares. And I was kind of musing last time whether that would be a big detriment to us. And I can't decide if it is, so I kind of want to check it out. Tilted scales are not too bad. We need 50 challenge points to qualify for the next challenge level. So in spirit of that, this one was awful. This one was just super hard. I think what I'll do is I'll do bosses have totems, and we'll do one of these cheap ones here, like pricey pelts. I never use that anyway. Let's see what we can do. Now, I know last time we unlocked a couple of new cards for Direwolf, if I'm not mistaken, and Direwolf Cub, too. So I thought perhaps they would show up in a deck or something like that, but it seems like instead they're just kind of in the rotation. So we might run across them in this very playthrough. But let's see what we get to start off with here. Something nice. So we've got the ant deck, so more ants are always welcomed. There's our direwolf pup that we were talking about. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. I didn't realize how cute he was going to be from the little tiny pixelated art from the preview, but guy's cute as heck. Oh man, I kind of want to take him on. Yeah, let's do it. We're building a cute deck this time, even though we got mostly ants. So we got two totems on the right side of the screen. That feels like a really good opportunity to get something going early on. If we can get an insect head, we're in business. We didn't, but we did get this guy. Well, let's grab it, give it a try. Couldn't hurt, right? Always build something a little bit more interesting as we move along. Mostly I'm just kind of gunning for the insect head. So, got those weird moving raven eggs. Now I feel like a good start be just dropping down our little flying ant here, seeing where it goes from there. Oh, see, you're gonna block something anyway. I wouldn't mind getting... I kind of want to get the Ant Queen out to start that engine going, but our deck is too... It's too slow with the sacrifices at this time. So I think instead, we will focus on just getting some basic ants on the field. And these flying ants will start to synergize with one another. We'll quickly start to outpace this guy for damage. Well, yeah, we're currently outpacing him by 1 per turn. So we'll just keep on drawing a few weak cards, knowing that eventually he's gonna fall behind. Just like that. Even got a little bit of overkill damage. Now, we're hoping for... Well, you know, I wouldn't mind having a decent card come from one of these. Gold pelt. Okay. Now, the good news is we have pricey pelts enabled, so it would cost us quite a lot of currency just to get a pelt like that naturally. So grabbing one by chance is not the worst thing in the world. Still no insect head, so we'll keep taking the bodies for now, with the hope that eventually we'll get one. I don't see any more on this particular map screen, but there's always the next one. They're not too terribly uncommon. Now, we've got a diving fawn. That's going to be problematic. We won't be able to get rid of it. So instead, we can either put a big damager on top, or we can throw the skunk out there to run interference, which I don't hate the idea. So let's start off there. That'll at least slow down his progress, because the mole's not doing anything for right now. Oh, I forgot that it moves. Okay, point taken. Alright, well, you're blocking things for now. I'm gonna take a bit of damage. I don't mind putting a pelt out there for right now. Just to block a little bit for us. You're gonna do damage over whatever I throw down. So instead, let's work on getting a few ants out there. Perhaps even at the cost of our skunk. I don't mind that. This will help us get an engine going. Plus it clears the port a little bit, gets that mole out of the picture. And we're gonna pull ahead. If this continues at the pace it's at right now, we will win in just a couple... Oh, see, he recognizes it too. Don't mind if I take that concede. Now. I think I'll re-roll this, looking for more insects, because we do have a synergy for it. Didn't get it. However... perhaps a reptile? Oh, a mud turtle! We have not actually played with this one before. That's one of the new cards that we haven't had a chance to toy around with. It's got the super shield that blocks whatever damage it takes the first time. I cannot help but notice that this reptile head and elk head seem to be hanging around. They do not seem to be clearing themselves out of the shop. So I'm going to take one and hope that by removing one of the options here, that perhaps it will open up a slot for our insect head to appear. I'm not sure if that's how the shops work. It's been a little bit unclear, frankly. But I'm willing to give it a shot. Now, does this guy affect... It does affect the rock. Interesting. That is slightly problematic. Well, we can always put our skunk over here to run a little bit of damage control. We are going to lose our ant. Not the end of the world, but also not the best start either. So you're running interference, you're shuffling around, and I can't stop you. If we were able to put down our ant queen, maybe start to get a little bit of value from her. Put her on the far end on the hopes that whenever this bull is done rampaging, it'll pick something else to fight. I can take it out right now, though. And that's going to be real good for clawing back some momentum. I don't mind that at all. Very nice. And within a couple of turns, we should have him. In fact, we're going to put one more flying ant down. Get ourselves a little bit of overkill damage. Not too shabby. Now we have a chance to spend that overkill damage. Wow, we do not have as much as I thought we did. Okay, maybe in the next shop. Just pass it along. Get ourselves a pack rat, because we have been neglecting to use our items. I feel like we have not had damn near any deck manipulation so far. Okay, these look familiar. Do flying elk. I don't think we even have an elk in our deck, but yeah, it's fine. It's our emotional support deer. Always here for us. Now then. This is Trapper. We do have a couple of pelts in our deck, naturally. I don't want to draw them early, but... What is this again? Okay, I mean, we can use that to block some of his guys. It's not a bad idea. So how do we want to get this thing started? Maybe we can start by... We'll do 2 damage, which will knock out 1 thing. You'll be able to knock out 1 thing. I wonder if the trap counts as doing damage? That'd be interesting if it did, because it would cause this turtle to essentially get a free point off that. Let's see how this plays out. Because if he attacks this thing and it's just... It just says perishes. I don't know if that translates to kills the card or instead just, you know, does a large amount of damage. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna sacrifice an ant here in the hopes of clearing the board and getting another pelt in hand. So, we learned that it does indeed just knock out that card. So where do we go from here? All of his stuff is going to jump in front to defend, and the best I've got is a pack rat. I think what we do is we are going to grab a squirrel. We're going to try and summon our pack rats, just to get him out there, actually doing a bit of work. And in the meantime, we are going to yoink this frog, or we could just snip it. Boy, which one is more valuable long-term, I wonder? There's a case to be made for either one. The pliers I don't respect at all, but I think a hook is going to be good for right now, because it will let me claw back a little bit of this momentum. Not sure how many more traps he's going to put out into the world, but if he leaves the field empty, it's going to let me run away with this round. And I think he's going to do just that. So here's what we'll do. We're going to bring him down into phase 2, and then we're going to just spend everything we can to get 4 cards from him. Which is technically, that's enough to clear out his entire side of the board. Now, which ones do we want, though? Kingfisher is very solid with that bifurcation attack. So is Mantis. Although my slots on the field will not allow for an effective bifurcation attack. So take that with a grain of salt. Skunk is pretty weak, frankly. I'm beginning to think that my plan for, you know, clearing out his side of the board and then just unloading with damage, I don't think that's going to play here. So instead, we get 4 of his cards. I think what I'll do, I'll leave this, you know, plain skunk, plain otter, and instead maybe I will aim for grabbing these cards that are doing damage to me. Because if he can't do damage, well, he's kind of out of luck. So if I grab his cards that are actually doing any damage to me, I think I'll be in good shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can pretty easily get rid of that bullfrog. With, let's see. How about a river otter? Yeah, let's do that. River otter right here. That'll knock you out. Everyone else is going to get knocked out. No one else can really do any damage necessarily, so I'm just going to pass turn. And I think this will slowly whittle him down enough that we can take the match. If I get any other cards that can do damage, I'll happily play them, but as of right now, nobody I have in hand is capable of damaging. Dire Pup is okay, but I don't have the room for sacrifices. So this is where we finish him off. One last big turn. Oh, now I get the golden belt. There we go. A little bit of overkill on top. I think that was well played. The temptation was there to just wipe his side, but it made me realize that half of his cards can't actually do any damage by themselves. A moment. You must excuse me, these are not rare cards. Okay, so I like getting a direwolf pup. We can combine them later on. And I guess there's no real other ways to get the rare cards. Not mistaken. That's an interesting turn, actually. Essentially just means we don't get rares. Well, let's go ahead and grab our another Ant Queen. Synergizes with the deck, and again, we got our fingers crossed for Insect Head. Insect Head. Wolf Head is not terrible, though, because we do have a couple of direwolves in our deck. So let's do that and flying, perhaps, to get a little bit more extra damage out of our direwolf pups. Those absolute cuties. I wonder if they stay cute when they grow up. Let's see. You're not doing anything, and these two are very weak. I can pretty much take one of these out of the picture with a single skunk, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And the rest, it's just a matter of getting a couple flyers out. This should not be hard at all, actually. He's going to take a couple of turns from me here, but it will not last. Maybe... I don't know if I want to get the Ant Queen out to start with, but definitely we'll get a Flying Ant here to even out from his Sparrow. So now we are fully even on damage. I think I just want to keep pulling until I grab another Flying Ant. So where's my other Flying Ant? It's got to be somewhere. I only have one Flying Ant in this deck? Hello, Wolf Pup. I mean, that's just as good. Let's do... Well, I need another squirrel to play him out there. Once he's out, he's going to start doing flying damage too. So let's do you here and here. And since you're going to do flying, I think... it doesn't really matter where we put him, does it? Right there's fine. It's always going to hit over. dies. And he attacks twice. Oof, damn. Don't mind that. Wow. I do like this. I do like this a lot. That guy can get out of control once he's played. Yikes. So, I really want to try and grab as many of these mushrooms as I can on the way up here, because I have at least 2 duplicates. Are doing it for me. Do have a ton of bone generation, so possum's not bad. At the very least, it can be a cheap sacrifice to get some of our bigger guys out. Here's the question. Which ones do we combine first? Flying ants I want 2 of. So not that. Ant Queen could be beneficial just for the sake of thinning the deck. Direwolf, though. That can actually get some real damage going. Realizing we have a very expensive, or, you know, sacrifice expensive deck. And I think we need something to make that engine work. I would not mind finding a cat somewhere. And luckily enough, I do see another mushroom on this path that we're on here, so we will get to combine once more. A couple of bees. They will grow and get stronger, though. Not sure how I'm going to deal with that. I mean, realistically, I just need another squirrel, and the direwolf can pretty much handle this situation on his own. I wonder how much damage these guys are going to do when they evolve. So, let's try this. Put a direwolf over here. So next turn you're going to do presumably 4 or 5 damage. And I'm going to be doing... I have 3 health left. So we need to wipe something off the board. That's mandatory. Get rid of you. Seems kind of like a waste to use the shears on a single bee, but I'm keeping in mind that that bee is going to be doing significantly more damage next turn. And I think the pliers would have made the difference, so I don't feel bad about that. Now this mantis, though, don't like this mantis. I need to pull something that's going to knock him out pretty much this turn. That'll do it. It'll take 2 turns to get him out, though. Don't like how this guy is evolving. It's starting to slip away from us. So instead, we'll put our flyer out here as well. We're going to do 2, 2, 4, 5, 6 damage. You know, realistically, I don't think there's a way that we stop him on this. Oh, wait. I forgot that we were doing flying damage as well. We're still in this, then. Oh, and Mantis evolves into Mantis God, not a 2-2. That's not too bad. Where do we go from here, though? Possum's good. Possum's very good. I would love to get rid of that guy. I think that's his biggest heavy hitters. So you're pulling in 5 damage per turn. I'm putting out 6 damage per turn. So I think we've got the momentum back. Do I want to make it a little bit better? The pack rat. You know, I don't see why not. I think you got better value there. so let's do that. The next turn I should have them, because that ant's not going to stand a chance. Well, not this turn specifically, but the turn after I get rid of that ant. Come back into our pace where we're overtaking him. By taking that damage off the board, we accelerate that pace. Don't mind it at all. There we go. My gosh, you see how many bones were stacked up on the scales that round? Wow. So we've got enough big people. Bones would be nice, because we do have that direwolf generating bones for us. Now we can get that direwolf smushed together. Just like that. Make you a little bit more powerful. I don't mind having only one in the deck, because it is expensive to bring out. Same as the Ant Queen. Speaking of which, where do we take it from here? Can't really play anything yet, so we just pass round. You've got a bunch of flyers, and you will win next round if I don't do something. Putting out 4 damage, I have 1 health. Interesting. I can take out one of your damage dealers, but I do not believe that's going to be sufficient to actually bring it back for us. But I feel like we have to do it. Yeah. Plus it gives us a little bit of... Oh, actually we can take out more than that. Can we? You're a flyer, so you're going to hit over. So we can either put our possum in a lane that's going to take out one of the birds in 2 turns, or we can block the frog for 1 turn. So how close are we to losing is the question. We got 1 health left. You're coming in with 4 damage. Soon to be 3 damage. Reducing it to 2 won't have any effect. You know, I'm pretty sure the math just doesn't add up for us this round. I think we lost it. Yeah. I don't think there's anything we misplayed that round. I think we just got a bad first draw. So that means this next boss fight is going to be a bit more challenging, being that we don't have the smoke to start things off with. Don't really like any of these too much. We got the shuffle card. I do love Rattler, though. The random card is fun, because it can turn into, you know, whatever. But I feel like we need some consistency here. If we were a little bit more well-stationed, I'd be okay with taking the rando card. Now, Backrat is decent. But I would much rather have something I can play more often. So perhaps we can put his baggage power on someone else. Like perhaps... Possum will be very easy to play. Definitely. Yes, let's go with that. This turns you into a very cheap item that I can get whenever needed. And we're still hoping for Insect Head. Still no Insect Head, although this is very good. I'm glad that that shows up as a totem now. I saw the cards introduced with it, but I wasn't sure they would actually show up as a totem eventually. Very good. Wrangler. I'm not too terribly confident about this fight. I have a feeling... Oh boy. So dives, flies, and moves. That's tough. There's no benefit of playing anything yet. So this guy's just going to move around. I can, however, encourage him to pull a very useless card over onto his side of the field. And I think that will be my first play. I'm going to... I think we're going to put our turtle out first. Just to start doing a little bit of damage to him. But we'll put the gold pelt there so that you drag it off screen along with your buddy. Assuming you hook before they move. Yes, good. Okay. I was about to second guess myself if he was gonna move first or hook first. Good to know that we got that one right, at least. So I will drop Possum here. So this is... we've got a full inventory at this point, but it's none of the items that I really like. I'm loath to just throw them away, but I'm also not so sure if if I want to keep them in inventory, just taking up space. Now with 2 damage here, none of these are quite going to do it, so we're kind of trading at this point. Even pace. I will, however, have you get rid of your own frog, and then in 2 turns, we should have you. Oh, wait, no, just kidding. Go ahead. Try and take my squirrel. See what happens. So here's where I'm kind of curious if our turtle can withstand one of those hits. Like for example, we'll just put a flying ant over here. Ah, so I like this. Wait, no I don't, because you dive. So, oh, Mud Turtle lost his shell, I guess. Can get our Ant Queen out. But that doesn't do us a whole ton of good. This shark will knock out Mud Turtle. They can't survive any further. So do we want to get any value out of him beyond just being a blocker? That's the question. I think doing 2 damage is a pretty solid value, plus the block next turn. That gives us the leeway that we need to possibly take a win. Because I only need to do 2 damage, and I've got 2 damage right here. Yes. That works. Okay, nice. Technically, I only need to do 1 damage. Okay, so we made it through that at least. Another mud... All of these are not bad. I would not mind having another worker ant in the deck, just to actually make the ant synergy worthwhile. But Skink is a very fun card. Let's go worker ant to see if we can't get more of that ant synergy that did so well for us last time. A moment. Okay. Got a challenge. Got got removal, inventory. These are decent options. I do like the combination path, though, even if it comes with a totem fight. Direwolf is so good, but so expensive. I don't think we can... Well, now that I'm thinking about it, we are on track to get a combination where we can take the sigil off somebody. If we took the sigil off of you and put it onto someone cheaper, we've effectively doubled their attack power. And that's nothing to scoff at. So we'll get rid of you, and instead we will have somebody attack twice. Who would that be, though? The ant is an easy choice, just because that's pure damage upgrade. But I also wouldn't mind doing Rattler. We don't have enough bone generation to easily bring him out onto the field. So I feel like a flying ant would be more likely to see play. Let's do that. Plus it scales twice as fast now, as we put more ants out onto the field. Maybe we'll actually get to see it at work here. So, birds with the debuff. Could not ask for a much stronger first hand. You... don't like you. I think what we have to do is perhaps fill up this spot, because I don't know if this egg is going to get played when you move forward. I don't really want to risk that. So I think maybe our play here is bring out the flying ant right away and just start ticking away some damage. He's going to outpace us by 1, soon to be much more. So how do we claw this back? I think we need to get our direwolf pup out. Oh my. Well, didn't stand a chance on that one. That was a very strong first turn coming out from him. I think there's a ton we could have done to prevent it either. Everybody flying, not even chump blockers would have worked. Maybe if we used up the paste. But best not dwell on the past. Do we have enough health to win this challenge? Probably not. We have enough sacrifices? Almost certainly. We have way too many expensive cards. Fortunately, they didn't show up. Okay. This might be the beginning of the death spiral. We're not surrendering yet. A couple of lucky turns is all it really takes. If I can get through this, the trader will give me some decent stuff for these pelts. Longhorn. Damage. So I think our first play is get a chump blocker out here. So you'll take it this turn and that turn. And then we just start pulling until we can grab our direwolf pup, which is right here. Leave. This should pull it back for us. Definitely. And with that, we've got 6 damage coming in. Add a little bit more on top. I think 1 turn away. Will this be enough? That's the question. So you'll do 3 damage for the 1, we'll do 4. That's enough to take it for certain. Put you down and let him go. Perfect. Just enough to give us the win. Now let's see if we can't buy something useful. This is always nice. Corpse Maggot is too. We have expensive cards, and getting that sigil to play itself on the field would be quite solid. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to go with the hopes of combining it at some point later on. Strange Larva is very tempting here, too. Gek is solid as a 1/1, don't get me wrong. But Strange Larva has some growth potential, at least. And I feel like we need some cheap growth potential in this deck. My gosh, our totem collection. I'm beginning to see why our deck is so weak comparatively. It's because we've spent 6 spaces just acquiring totem bits. Well, we finally got our insect head that we were looking for. Let's see if it was worth all the struggle. I will say, Mothman attacking twice like that is pretty powerful. So this lane is occupied. Don't need to worry about that one. I think our play is wait till we can get the pup out. Boy, we got Direwolf coming in though. Don't love that. Do a 2/2. Take 1 damage in the meantime from the Porcupine. I feel like we have to do it just to start pulling this back. At least you'll evolve next turn, get us a little bit of bones that we can start using our bone summons. Oh. Ouch. Tragic indeed. Well, I do have a running tally of not being able to make too many back-to-backs happen. I felt like we were on the ropes for most of that run. Let's see if we can't get a little bit more momentum on our next one.